Northern truckers cry out, demand action over killings, attacks in Southeast. NAPTIP transfers 52 human trafficking victims to Zamfara government. Angolan businessman secretes 120 wraps of cocaine at Kano airport. Egypt unveils Gaza reconstruction plan at Arab summit. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you for joining us. The news in detail. Heavy truck drivers transporting goods from the north to the southeast took to the streets on Sunday to protest what they described as the incessant killings of their members and destruction of their vehicles by suspected separatist members of the indigenous people of Biafra. The drivers decried the continued loss of lives, trucks and property worth millions of naira, lamenting that attacks have persisted despite repeated calls for intervention. Ado Musa completes the report.
Just stay there. We want government to intervene. Just stay there. We want government to intervene. We want government to intervene.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons has handed over 52 suspected human trafficking victims from Zamfara to the state government. The individuals, mostly from Anka and Talata Mafara local government areas, were intercepted by the Nigerian army en route to Abuja for alleged mining work. Among the group was their alleged recruiter, Biliamino, who remains in the custody of the Department of State Services for further investigation. The victims, appearing malnourished and desperate, were transferred to the Zamfara State Substance Abuse Control and Prohibition of Human Trafficking Agency. Executive Secretary of the agency, Ishaq Anka, confirmed that the victims had undergone investigations by the DSS before being returned to NAPTIP for rehabilitation. One of them, Hamza Shuaibu, claimed they had willingly sought mining jobs but were arrested before reaching their destination. The Zamfara state government has warned residents against falling for false promises of better opportunities. Emphasizing the risks of exploitation and trafficking, authorities plan to intensify awareness campaigns to curb future incidents. Now, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have intercepted large drug shipments across Nigeria, dismantling trafficking operations and making key arrests. In Kano, Angolan businessman Bala Dajo Abuba was arrested at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport on February 25 while attempting to smuggle 1.829 kilograms of cocaine ingested in 120 pallets to Istanbul. In Lagos, auto parts dealer Okeke Ebuka Igwe was caught on Friday 24 trying to conceal 1.10 kilograms of cocaine inside vehicle propellers bound for Angola, while Ezechi Ike Cyprian was apprehended a day earlier for trafficking 5.4 kilograms of cocaine to Owerri. At Tinkan Seaport on February 28, operatives discovered 63.75 kilograms of Canadian loud cannabis hidden in mattresses, leading to the arrest of Bamidele Joseph. Chairman and CEO, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, commended officers for the relentless efforts in curbing drug trafficking and abuse. Now, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has relocated 300 internally displaced persons to the Kefi resettlement city in Nasarawa State. Federal Commissioner Aliyu Tijani Ahmed handed over 40 homes to the households comprising the 300 IDPs, stating that the relocation is part of President Bola Tinubu's vision to offer hope to Nigerians regardless of their circumstances. Ahmed also announced plans to relocate more IDPs in the coming days, with a goal of eventually integrating them into the community. He emphasized that the relocation was voluntary and that the IDPs could remain in the city as long as they wished. He said the project is ongoing and we will continue to build more houses and bring in more people, Ahmed added. He further mentioned that after Ramadan, a larger exercise would be held to settle more IDPs and refugees in the city. Now, in a major stride toward food security and modernized agriculture, Governor Malam Umar Namadi has commissioned the Lalashi borehole-based irrigation scheme in Megatari local government area of Jigawa State. The solar-powered project, which employs semi-conduit and drip irrigation techniques, ensures year-round farming and offers sustainable economic opportunities for farmers in the region. The report.
The 10-hectare irrigation scheme, equipped with 4 industrial boreholes, directly benefits 80 smallholder farmers by providing a steady water supply and efficient irrigation methods. This initiative is expected to enhance crop yields, improve farmers' livelihoods, and reduce dependence on unpredictable seasonal rainfall. At the commissioning ceremony, Governor Namadi reaffirmed his administration's commitment to agricultural development through his 7-point agenda, emphasized that expanding irrigation facilities, including dams and borehole-based systems, remains a top priority in boosting food production and rural economic growth. He further announced that the smaller borehole-based irrigation projects in Berenwa and Kafin Hausa are nearing completion. Additionally, the 2025 state budget includes provisions for more irrigation projects in Gumel, Sulitankaka, and Gagarawa. Governor Namadi stressed these initiatives will transform Jigawa's agricultural landscape by ensuring water availability, increasing productivity, improving farmers' incomes. He reaffirmed his vision of making Jigawa a leading agricultural hub in Nigeria through sustained investments in modern irrigation technology.
Today, I am extremely delighted that this commitment is becoming a reality, as demonstrated by the successful completion of Lalashi borehole-based irrigation project, which is only one of the several we plan to establish in Jigawa State. The project, which covers 10 hectares of land, is based on 4 industrial boreholes, powered by solar energy using semi-conduit and drip irrigation techniques. Up to 80 smallholder farmers are at the moment directly involved in cultivating these 10 hectares of land.
Local farmers and community members have hailed the initiative, commending the government's commitment to sustainable agricultural and rural development. Many express optimism that the improved irrigation infrastructure will lead to greater prosperity and long-term food security in the state. At this time, we are selling watermelon and our maize is available for sale in Kaduna and Lagos. We have nothing but thanks to the offer for this initiative. With continued investment in modern farming techniques, Jigawa State is poised for a significant transformation in its agricultural sector, paving the way for enhanced productivity, economic empowerment for farmers, sustainable food production.
News will be back in a moment. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. It's nice to have you join us again. Here is a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that northern truckers cry out, demand action over killings attacks in southeast. Plus, Angolan businessman excretes 120 wraps of cocaine at Kano Airport. And now to more stories. The high cost of politics in Nigeria remains a major barrier for women who often lack the financial backing needed to compete effectively. The bridge to bridge this gap and promote gender inclusion, advocates are calling for the creation of special seats for women in the National Assembly as a strategic step toward broader representation. The report.
Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Adebo Ogundoyin, has reiterated his commitment to increasing women's participation in politics, stressing the need for designated seats to enhance the representation at the federal level. This push aligns with the ongoing constitutional amendment effort aimed at strengthening female leadership in Nigeria and addressing long-standing gender disparities in governance.
What we expect from the Conference of Speakers is for the Conference of Speakers to also support this legislation and this alteration to the Constitution when it comes down to the states, to ensure that we have 2/3 of the states to support this alteration to the Constitution in order for it to pass through and make sure that the Constitution is amended in favor of 1 seat per state for women inclusion in the National Assembly.
Bukola Idowu, Executive Director of Kimpa Development Initiative, has raised concerns over the steady decline in women's political participation, attributing it to financial constraints, cultural norms, and systematic barriers. He emphasized the urgency of implementing proactive measures to close the gender gap in leadership.
Look at in terms of orientation that people get on the media. For instance, you look at movies that distinctly put the role of the men and women out unconsciously, and that is one of the reasons you see a lot of actresses and actors here today to also have this understanding about what this is. And then the last one is also financial, because politics is actually a lot of capital intensive. So when you look at this, women have a lot. They are grumbling with already, and then you put all this burden on them. So these are barriers, and that are causing that imbalance in terms of representation in the political space.
Renowned Nigerian artist and social commentator Ifeoma Fafunwa has called for a structural overhaul in political representation. She argues that true gender equity can only be achieved through a legal binding quota system that prevents any gender from holding more than 65% of political seats.
Next 20 years, they'll be telling you that one position, that one seat you have is only for women, and that we've given it to you, keep quiet. And why should it be anyone giving it to anyone? Just open it, that no man, no men, no gender, no group should have more than 65% entrenchment. That's it. Then all of a sudden you will see that young women will come in and they will run.
As the conversation on women's political participation gains momentum, many hope that legislative reforms will pave the way for a more inclusive and equitable political system in Nigeria.
Now, Muslim faithful, including new converts, have been urged to uphold the tenets of Islam, not only during Ramadan, but beyond. Imam Muhammad Maruf Roji, acting missioner and Imam of the FCT Abuja, emphasized this while addressing worshippers as part of this year's Ramadan message. Kabir Lawal reports.
Imam Muhammad Maruf Roji reaffirmed that Islam is a religion of peace, urging new converts to be sincere in their faith rather than embracing it superficially or out of impulse.
As a Muslim, you must establish the 5 daily prayer after the testimony of bearing that there is nobody worthy of worship except Allah alone, and the Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Then you must establish 5 daily prayer, fast in the month of Ramadan. If you are able and capable, pay zakat, and if you are able and capable, do the visitation to the house of Allah called Hajj. and establish what is good on yourself, enjoy what is good on yourself, and enjoy what is good on others. Follow the ordainment of the Almighty Allah, as Allah has commanded us in the Quran 16, verse 90.
Chairman of NASFAT Abuja, Abdulganiyu Balogu, also advised new converts against practicing Islam as mere lip service, stressing that true devotion is key to earning Allah's blessings. He reiterated that Islam promotes peace and should be adhered to wholeheartedly.
So when you join Islam, you should know that you have done that for the sake of Almighty Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not because of any individual, or you think that at least there is anything that is being shared in Islam. What we only share is knowledge, and we let you know what Islam is all about, which is the key thing. Yes, some people feel that, oh, they share money or something. There is nothing like that in Islam, but at least your faith is what is needed. Yes, a lot of things come after if you have reverted into Islam. And what are those things? You know, there are a lot of rama. At least even your behavior will change.
Some Muslims who spoke to Trust TV noted that many converts who embrace Islam during Ramadan often struggle to remain steadfast when faced with challenges.
According to teaching of Islam, there is this saying that Niyatul Mu'min Khairun min Amalihi, that your intention comes first before any other thing. Whatever you do, you must have intended that you want to do this thing before you do it. So, meaning to say, why people backslide is because of their intention. Some reverted because of astaghfirullah, material things.
Sincerely speaking, I want to plead with the revertees. Before you can convert to Islam, I assume that you have a good knowledge about what Islam is all about. And you must be convinced about the religion. Convinced not about the money that people will give you, not the material things that they will contribute for you, but convinced that this is the religion that you want to practice till eternity.
Meanwhile, 2 individuals converted to Islam yesterday, with more expected to follow. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now to developments away from Nigeria. Egypt is set to announce a comprehensive plan for Gaza's reconstruction at the upcoming Arab Summit in Cairo. Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Latif described the initiative as practical and achievable, emphasizing that it does not require the displacement of Palestinian citizens. Speaking after a meeting with Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa, Abdel-Latif stressed that lasting peace hinges on a clear political path toward Palestinian statehood. Mustafa hailed the plan as a step toward unifying Gaza and the West Bank under one government, security system and legal framework. The reconstruction push follows controversial remarks by United States President Donald Trump, who proposed relocating Gaza's population and redeveloping the enclave as a luxury zone. In contrast, Egypt's approach focuses on rebuilding while preserving Palestinian sovereignty. The Arab Summit is expected to rally regional support for the initiative, reinforcing efforts to stabilize and rehabilitate Gaza after 16 months of devastating conflict.
The
only guarantee to break the cycle of violence and assaults is for a political horizon to be present and give hope to the Palestinian people that their legitimate aspirations can be achieved in establishing an independent state on all of their national soil. Also, as His Excellency mentioned, the reconstruction plan is a practical one with specific short-term timeframes that are completely doable and achievable without the need to displace any citizens from their land.
أطر زمنية محددة وقصيرة الأمد وكنا نريد أن ننطلق من هذه العملية كلها من أجل توحيد شقي الوطن.
We need to take off through this whole process in order to unite the two sides of the Palestinian nation in Gaza and the West Bank. So we will work on uniting the organizations, whether services, administrative or security, in order to form one state with one system, one law and also one weapon. We discussed all of these topics and hopefully with the support of brothers in Egypt, these efforts will move forward and we hope the Arab Summit will adopt the plan.
Very well then, that's about it on the news update on Trust TV at this hour. Remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again by 9 p.m.